Queerness is a natural phenomenon known to India since ancient times. It is not urban or elite. C. There is no universal conception of the institution of marriage.
An entitlement to legal recognition of the right to union, akin to marriage or civil union, or conferring legal status upon the parties to the relationship can be only through enacted law. A sequitur of this is that the court cannot enjoin or direct the creation of such a regulatory framework, resulting in legal status.
But I am happy that Supreme Court of India had accepted the version of the Government of India.
आज का जो वर्डिक्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट था उसके ऊपर हम लोगों का बहुत उम्मीद था, लेकिन आई थिंक इट हैज बीन वेरी वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग।
वर्डिक्ट हमारे पक्ष में भले ही ना दिया हो, मगर बहुत सारी चीजें वहाँ जो तर्क की हैं वो बहुत सारी हमारे पक्ष में की हैं और उन्होंने रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में डाला है कि वो कुछ करें।
The five-judge bench on October 17 not only ruled against legalizing same-sex marriages, in a 3:2 verdict, it also noted that civil union between non-heterosexuals was not a fundamental right. The verdict has prompted diverse reactions from several sections of the society. While the LGBTQ+ community welcomed parts of the verdict, others have found it disappointing. In this video, we will decode the Supreme Court's verdict point by point for you. Why same-sex marriages have not been legalized by the Supreme Court? Is adoption allowed for non-heterosexual couples? And what does this verdict mean for the LGBTQ+ community moving forward? First, here is a quick look at key points from the Supreme Court's 5-bench ruling on same-sex marriages. No legal recognition is given for same-sex marriages. No constitution or fundamental right to civil unions. Centre's High Power Committee will examine concerns of same-sex couples. No right for queer couples to jointly adopt children. Now, let's take this one at a time. All 5 judges agreed unanimously that transgender persons in heterosexual relationships have the right to marry each other under the existing framework of law. Now, what this essentially means is that if a trans person identifies as a male and another trans person identifies as a female, they will be allowed to marry each other under the existing framework of the law. Now, moving along, all 5 judges agreed that there is no fundamental right to marry. But why so? The Chief Justice of India said that Supreme Court cannot strike down the provisions of Special Marriages Act or read the words differently. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud says only Parliament can decide legal validity of same-sex marriages, since the court should steer clear of policy matters. Special Marriages Act is a legislation designed to facilitate intercaste and interfaith marriages. The petitioners had asked for a broader interpretation where even same-sex marriages will be included in them. The bench also argued that changes made to the SMA would complicate divorces, alimony, and marriage laws.
The law cannot make an assumption about good and bad parenting based on the sexuality of individuals.
On the issue of adoption, we express our disagreement. The underlying assumption in the law as exists is that such unmarried heterosexual or queer couples should not adopt. It needs to be closely examined. Similarly, the needs of such couples to have and raise a family in every sense of the term has to be accommodated within the framework of the law.
On the matter of adoption, CGI, in his judgment, said guidelines of the Central Adoption Resource Authority discriminate against atypical and unmarried couples for adopting children, which is in violation of Article 15 of the Constitution. Meanwhile, 3 judges disagreed with allowing unmarried non-heterosexual couples to adopt. So since the majority disagreed, the Supreme Court denied the right to adopt for non-heterosexual couples. Now we spoke about the fact how CGI and Justice Bhatt voted in favor of civil unions. Justice Bhatt said that legal recognition of civil unions for non-heterosexual couples represents a step forward towards marriage equality. But how are civil unions different from marriages? The main difference between civil unions and a marriage is that civil unions are not recognized by the federal government. Civil union is a legal arrangement between 2 people that provides them state-level protection. The benefits and the rights given to civil unions vary from state to state, and not all states recognize civil unions. However, 3 judges disagreed with allowing this as well.
अगर कोई LGBT समुदाय से कोई बिलोंग करता है तो आपके इलेक्टेड MP के पास जाएं, आपके इलेक्टेड MLA के पास जाएं, उनसे बात करें और उनको बताएं कि हम उतने ही अलग हैं जितने कि दो लोग होते हैं।
देखिए, उम्मीद पे तो हम लोग कायम है ना, इसलिए हम लोग पता नहीं कब से लड़ाई कर रहे हैं और करते रहेंगे। अडॉप्शन को भी लेके इस बार ये लोग कुछ कर सकते थे, ये भी नहीं हुआ। जो चीफ जस्टिस ने कहा वो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से कहा, अडॉप्शन के बारे में बहुत सोच समझ के कहा था। तो डिसअपॉइंटिंग है कि दूसरे जजेस ने अग्री नहीं किया, पर आगे चल के होगा, ये नहीं कि नहीं होगा, पर वही है कि कब होगा।
But while the Supreme Court hasn't legalized same-sex marriages, the CGI has issued a number of directives to the centre, in which he went on to say that ensure queer community is not discriminated against, ensure there is no discrimination in access to goods and services, sensitize public about queer rights, create hotline for the queer community, create safe houses for queer couples, ensure that intersex children do not have to undergo operations. No person shall be forced to undergo any hormonal therapy. We hope that this video clarified to you what the judgment was all about, and for more such explainers, keep watching Moneycontrol.